And we are live. Good morning, evening, afternoon, or whatever time it is where you are. Streaming live to you today from beautiful Fraser Valley is myself, Maria. Hi. And today you guys get to decide what we're streaming about. I don't have a specific topic. I've set up my green screen finally, but it might fall on me. So I warn you in advance. I ordered a brand new, very nice green screen that would fit this room, but it's if you've seen how it looked like, you'd be laughing at me right now. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And wow, we already have a bunch of super chats. One, wow, amazing. Thank you so much. Let's have a quick look before we start this lovely stream. And let me know in the comments if you can see me, if I am actually live. OOP in Python. Yeah, awesome. Let's have a look. So thank you so much for the super chat. Watery Long. Hello, beautiful from Philippines. What I know I know Maganda. I know Guapo. I know Santa No. ¿Cómo está cá? That's what I was looking for. ¿Cómo está cá? I know some words in Filipino. Python coder. Can you possibly to succeed a mechanical engineer to Python coder programmer? Yeah, why not? My dad is a mechanical engineer. He's not really into coding, but it requires a lot of critical thinking skills, a lot of problem solving skills, and it's something that you can definitely apply on coding, on the world of software development. But yeah, for sure, absolutely. Again, it depends if you have some passion, and it doesn't matter what you do. You can be a baker and you can become, a coder, programmer, whatever it is you want to do. It's all possible. It depends on your dedication, on your kind of, on your motivation. But it's possible, of course. Cool. Let's see what else we have here. Hello, everyone. Yeah, we got a bunch of comments. So yeah, it looks like we are live. Thank you so much, dear Ironman. Great to see you guys. People are tuning in. That's great. Are you a real person? Your ability is supernatural. I am a real person, I swear. There's nothing supernatural about me. I think because I'm learning at your pace and I'm kind of explaining things from zero, because most of them I learned from zero. It's very easy for me to find, common language with beginners, even in the realm of, machine learning, things that are quite complex. But yeah, and the reason why I speak a bit quietly today, please let me know if you hear me well. Give me a shout in the comments if if the sound is fine. I'm trying not to speak too loudly because every time I'm streaming for about 3 hours, I lose my voice. So this time I'm gonna try keeping it quiet. But yeah, let's have a look. Pura Vida from Costa Rica. I don't know what Pura Vida is, but hi, Rafael. Great to see you. About to protect my scripts in Python. Protect. Some cybersecurity stuff. Interesting. Python Django, please. Have you seen my tutorial on Django? I have a really nice tutorial on it. Yeah, cool. So we're going to do a poll in a few minutes. I'm going to post a poll, but it looks like you guys want to do some coding, eh? We can definitely do it. I have my WSL environment ready for you guys, if I can find it. There you go. It's ready, good to go. We just need to figure out what we want to do, eh? What else we have here? Let's see. Oh, hello, Josh. Josh is here. Great to see you. Thanks for joining. I didn't do the brand connect yet, but we're gonna have a members only stream after. I didn't do the brand connect, but I'm gonna send you a link to the stream so you can kind of tune in if you'd like, and then we kind of bypass this moderators cannot access your streams. If you didn't do the brand connect, you just have a link, and then you'll be in the studio, and same thing pretty much. You don't have to talk. You can just be present. But yeah, great. You can see me. Fantastic. So we have some object-oriented programming requests. We have some questions whether I'm single or not. I'm not single. There you go. I found the man of my dreams. His name is Mario. Yes. He's not a plumber, but he knows how to do some plumbing. And he's not Italian. He used to be a plumber, many, many years ago. And yeah, Josh is also saying anyone who wants can become a programmer. Yeah. There you go. You could do data creation analysis or data set analysis with Python to train a machine learning model. Okay, we have some machine learning requests. Yeah, some more machine learning requests. Okay, wow, that's awesome. Great. I'm glad you guys are into machine learning. We're gonna have a bunch of videos about it, for sure. More deep learning, but I think nowadays machine learning is synonymous with deep learning. Perfect. So Nino can hear me perfectly. Amazing. I'm at the bottom of the comments right now. Have you interacted with the flat module? Nope. Nope. It is used in web applications for Python. Nope, not yet. Streamlit, Mario in real life. For sure, for sure. Everyone that everyone who finds out his name is like, oh, I love to play Super Mario. It's like he's taking credit for Super Mario. um, let's see what else. Yeah, we've seen this comment. I have a basic knowledge of Python, Excel, Power BI, and for data analysis. Can you please suggest me platforms for practice and internship? Internship. I don't know if I like the concept of internship. I think if you're working, you should be paid for what you're doing. Internships is usually when you kind of volunteer to do stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I would rather make money. So you can practice with your personal projects. I don't think you need a platform. Just think of a project, something that you want to achieve, and follow through. From start to finish, start building it. And at first, it's going to be a bit difficult, but you'll get to experience the entire pipeline of making an application or making your own project. And I think it's very, very important. A lot of self-discipline. You will need it. Cool. Oh, Katrina is here. Hello, hello. Only just got the notification. Yeah, I just started 7 minutes ago, so don't worry. We just started. It's one of the most unprepared for streams that I've ever had. Usually I have some idea of what I'm going to talk about, but this one is like, whoa, you guys decide. I don't even know how I'm going to I'm going to organize it at all. What's my native language? So when it comes to coding, it's HTML, CSS. When it comes to like general languages, that will be Russian. What else do we have here? Hello, greetings from Mexico. Hello, hello. Let's see. Oh, Sinisa is here. I would like to Sinisha, I think. Sinisha, you say. No? Let me know in the comments if I got it right, because I think I always mispronounce your name, but I should say it correctly. Let me know if it's Sinisha. I think it is. I think this is how you pronounce it. I would like to see some JS too, specifically if you use Django or Flask. So the specific Django video that I filmed, it does have a bit of JS, JavaScript. But yeah, we can do JavaScript too. I don't know if I have Node installed here. Let's see. Yeah, I do have a Node installed. Okay, you guys can see it, but I do have it here. We should do a poll. Holy smokes! Holy smokes! Are we still rising up against the machines? I don't think that's the biggest worry at the moment. I don't know. Depends on where you are. I guess it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I think we're kind of coming to a boiling spot. And I don't know if machines is what we need to worry about at this point in time. There are more immediate threats to humanity. Let's see. What's the quickest route to teach a 10-year-old Python? I would start from Pygame, something very visual, something that a 10-year-old will find interesting. But it's something that has to come, from the kid, because you cannot force somebody to learn something. For me, when I was 12, I got my broadband internet connection. And since I got it, I kind of taught myself HTML and then CSS and then JavaScript, and it kind of moved on from there. I had some, very girly sites that I've created. They were really fun to create, but it all came from me. So you cannot really, if the 10-year-old really wants to learn Python, which I don't know if it's the case, I'm sure you'll find a way, but I recommend to start from like visual things. Either start with, Flask is going to be probably a bit difficult. Yeah, start with Pygame probably, and then they can see what they're building, and it's like very, in your face, so you cannot really miss it. That's what I would do. Let's see what else. Let's go to the bottom of the comments. Yeah, thank you for all the compliments. Good evening from India. Hi, good morning from Vancouver. I guess no longer Vancouver, but Fraser Valley, but close enough to Vancouver. Do you have those sites somewhere? No, no. So the thing about the internet is that many things have changed since I was 12. Yeah, back in the day, you could host sites for free. You didn't need to pay for them. And I didn't need to, like, I didn't have money allowance from my parents when I was 12. So as long as a hosting service was free, I was able to host them. And it was great. Okay, wow, there's a lot of comments. Holy smoke. Holy smokes, hold on. Have you been any successful efforts to reduce the number of parameters in complex deep learning models, making it feasible to train such models without needing to access massive, huge data centers? So when you reduce the number of parameters, you also kind of reduce what it is capable of doing. So when you take a large language models and you reduce it, there's ways to do it, but you will probably lose a lot of information along the way. So we don't do it really. But the next video, I'm going to show you how to access those large data centers. And they're not necessarily large data centers. They're not necessarily going to cost you a lot of money. I'm going to show you how to kind of estimate what kind of powers you need. And the video after it. So I'm almost done with this video. There's one scene that I need to film. Everything else is done. But the video after it, we will take a large language model and we will fine tune it on the cloud. We're not going to train it. We don't have a few good months of of time to do so. But yeah, we will talk about it more in like actual tutorials rather than live streams, and then you can see how it works. But unfortunately, we need those data centers. The larger the model, the more processing power you need. And even if your computer is a beast, just like mine, it's not going to help. You need more. Let's see what else we have here. Hey, Maria, hope you're good. Can you do a video explaining Docker plus Python, please? Have you seen my Docker tutorial? I actually have it. I filmed one, but we will probably do some more Docker stuff. There you go. Here's the one. Learn Docker quickly, machine learning project for absolute beginners. Okay, I teach you the basics of Docker, and we'll probably use it more in the future. I talked to Docker just a few days ago. They were talking about some, they have a program called Captain's Program. So basically, whenever you use them in a tutorial, they kind of post it on their social media. And they have a lot of following on social media. So I'm thinking of switching from, every time I'm telling you, oh, let's use an Anaconda environment for this and that, just switch it to Docker, and then we'll get a bit more, I guess more people will get exposed to the type of stuff we do on the channel. So that would be really, really nice. So I'm thinking about it. Probably I'll do it. Привет из Norilska, самого северного города России. Привет, здрасте. Доброе утро. Добрый вечер. Здравствуйте. Oscar, nice to see you again. Hi. Hassan, any resources or approach to follow in order to master OOP in Python? Yeah, absolutely. I actually have a whole bunch of tutorials on object-oriented programming. A lot of people are talking to me about it, but check out this Python class as an object for beginners. This will give you a nice introduction. Keep in mind that it's not attributes, it's attributes. I filmed this video a long time ago, back in 2021. Okay, so it was in the very beginning of the channel. Then once you master, once you understand what you learned here, move on to a project, a forest of random tree objects. So basically you can create this very nice background of random trees, just like that, right? And then once you are ready, you can move on with the class inheritance. Private class members, stuff like that. This is a bit more advanced. But all these three topics should give you a nice introduction to object-oriented programming, at least in Python. But yeah, absolutely. Display your PC properties. You can find it in a recent tutorial. So if you go to the QDF tutorial, this one, master faster pandas with QDF GPU processing, my specs are here. Look at all the timestamps. You can see all the specs there. But this is not my best computer. It used to be. Now I have a better one. I have a Legion 9i. I got it recently on a discount, surprisingly. I'm here just to see Maria, not to learn Python. Hi, Max. So Sinisha, I would say for 10-year-old, perhaps PySimple GUI, yes, has to be some GUI to be more attractive. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Because otherwise you cannot see what you're doing. And when you're looking at text, for a 10-year-old, it's probably not interesting. Maria, can you talk Russian? Конечно. Want to hear your accent. Well, мой акцент не такой уж и хороший, потому что я с Крыму уехала, когда мне было 6 лет. Так что у меня есть акцент, акцент not perfect. So half of my Russian is actually either English or Hebrew, so Hebrussian. But yeah, some of the words, it's just, you're not used to, I'm not used to speaking Russian with people who only speak Russian. So my parents, they're bilingual, my friends are bilingual. So you always kind of shove words from different languages into the sentence, and they always understand. So there's really no need to be specific with those terms. So yeah, it kind of ruined my my knowledge of Russian, for sure. So Silver has a birthday. Happy birthday to you. С днем рождения тебя. I sing nicer, but I'm not trying. Cool. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for participating in a conversation. I should probably do some poll to figure out what we're gonna do today. And Badger is here. Hello. Great to see you, buddy. It's been a while. I'm doing a course, 100 Days of Code, the Complete Python Pro Bootcamp on Udemy. Have you heard about it? Udemy. I've tried some of their courses, but I don't know if their bootcamp is gonna guarantee you a job in the future. That's the only problem that I have with bootcamp. Sometimes they promise you the word, sometimes they kind of charge you for it, and then in the end, you just kind of paid for a course that you could have found for free. I had something similar. I was on Udacity. I did their nano degree. And even though the degree is part of the course name, there is nothing degree-ish about this certificate you get. So it's a good resources. Like, these are good resources to learn from, for sure. But I don't know if they are considered as official certifications. I don't know if your potential employers will look at them and be like, oh, he has it, so great. It's a good thing. But yeah, cool. Thank you for positive vibes and energy. Yeah, absolutely. I think we kind of need it these days. We definitely do. Can you explain PyQt6 library? I do have a tutorial on PyQt5, not Qt6. So if you type, it's a trivia game, and it's like a double-part tutorial. Open Trivia Database. Let's see, no, PyQt5. So basically, it's a GUI framework for desktop applications. You can use some CSS commands in it. That's why I really, really liked it, because I come from CSS, HTML. You have 2 tutorials on it. You have the trivia game, and then you have the Open Trivia Database, which is, so basically here we create the interface, and in the second video, we then connect a database to it. So this database is not a database management system. It's a database you kind of get from the web. You kind of download it. And I hope it's still there. I hope it exists. There's a chance it doesn't exist anymore. So my apologies if it doesn't. Cool. Are you planning to do any machine learning videos? Yeah, absolutely. I always do machine learning. That's my preference. And I'm so happy to see so many of you asking me about machine learning, because the next few tutorials are mostly about machine learning. So fine-tuning large language models. And after it, we're going to do some style transfers. It's going to be really, really cool. So what is a style transfer? It's basically an algorithm, which is the basis of generative AI when it comes to images. Okay, so if you've seen Midjourney, these type of models, they basically generate an image. So the most basic algorithm to implement something like that is called style transfer. It's when we take 2 different images. We take from one image, we take all the outlines, we take all the edges, and from the second image, we take the colors and the style. So for example, we can draw the Mona Lisa in the style of Salvador Dali. So we can kind of mash 2 images together and create one out of them. And it's like an image that the world has never seen before. So this is an algorithm I'm going to try to simplify. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'm hoping to be able to, because what I have is quite complex. And I think it can be done much easily, for sure. Please create a tutorial on Flask with MongoDB. Yeah, we will definitely look into MongoDB, for sure. We'll need a non table based type of database, not non-relational database. Cool. What else is here? What else is here? I'm experienced software engineer for about 6 years and planning to switch to a non-tech career like business analyst, etc. Do you think that's worth a shot? I think the world progresses into a place where, how do I say it lightly? So many jobs that can be done from home can be probably done using AI. So this is how I put it lightly. Think about a job that you need to physically be present in order to achieve. If it's something you can do from home, I don't know if it's very future proof. And business analyst sounds like something that an artificial intelligence model can do. If not now, then sometimes in the future. So this is something that I would consider, because you don't want to switch jobs or careers every now and then. You want to kind of take something that is going to last you for 5-10 years, like preferably for life. So when it comes to career search, I don't know how to say it without kind of influencing everybody else's opinions, because that's not what I want to do. But from my personal perspective, I was a graphic designer for many years and I loved it. It was really fun. I enjoyed this career. But when I took my first artificial intelligence course, and I thought to myself, and then I got back to my job and I thought to myself, like, wow, I'm sitting here and I'm doing the same thing every day. I could automate this process with an AI model. And once I realized that everything I do can be automated with AI, I realized that I'm in the wrong career. And I'm no longer a graphic designer. I do use a lot of my skills for that, but it kind of pushed me to kind of pursuing an official certification. My BSc is in the topic of machine learning and artificial intelligence. I'm about to finish it. And when you're thinking about careers, think about future-proof stuff and think about all the different factors that are coming in play. Because a lot of people will tell you that, we will never lose our jobs to AI. This will never happen, right? But I tend to see that everybody who says that this will never happen, I tend to think that it's going to be the exact opposite of it. And partially it's because of things that Alan Turing said in the 1950s. The purpose of designing artificial general intelligence, the definition of artificial general intelligence, is a model that is capable of everything that humans are capable of from an intellectual perspective, right? We're not talking about physical manifestation of things. So, for example, we're not talking about robots that can, bend laundry. That's not the purpose of AGI. AGI is the purpose of taking the intellectual capabilities of humans and delegating them to a machine, right? I have a series of tutorials about it if you're interested. That's basically covering Alan Turing's article. If you type "can machines think," you will find three different videos. The first one is talking about the imitation game. So this is where we are talking about Turing test. So it's unwise to ask, can machines think? Because the definition of machine and thinking are very ambiguous. We can interpret them in very different ways. And it's very hard to measure the degree of thinking or the existence or absence of thinking, because we're not sure how to define it, right? So a better question is asking if there are imaginable machines that will do well in the imitation game. If you're curious to find what the imitation game is, check out this video of mine. In the next video, we are talking about the official definition of a machine. So in the eyes of Alan Turing, at least. That's before we had fancy computers, okay? The first digital computers have already emerged back at this time, and I had the privilege of seeing the ENVIAC in real life. I took a selfie with it. I'm very proud of it. It was randomly. I didn't know that I'm going to see the ENVIAC. I've seen it. I got so excited. And the guys were laughing at me because this is not a typical thing that girls are excited about. Oh, it's the ENVIAC, And in the last video, we're talking about more of a philosophical type of topic. And it's basically Alan Turing's negation of like why machine cannot think. So he looks at a few arguments of people who say why they can't think. Some of these arguments are very, very interesting, and I don't think we disputed two of them. And it's like it's a very interesting series. And I think by looking at what very smart mathematicians were reasoning about in the 1950s, I think it's easier to see where we're going with the current reality, because the concept of artificial intelligence is not a new concept, and the ethical problems of artificial intelligence are not new. You're not going to find a lot of people who actually engage in machine learning that will tell you that this is only positive. There's nothing to worry about, okay? And I think a lot of people are worried about Terminator and Matrix kind of reality, but that's not what we're worried about. No, there are things that are a bit more immediate, that are a bit more problematic. So yeah, take a look at that. I highly recommend. So when you're looking for careers, keep it in mind. Keep in mind that if right now we have those AI models, that they're not perfect. And they're not artificial general intelligence. It will be hard for me to believe that they are, even if they declare they are. But is it where we're going with future? Like how long it's going to take us to achieve it? That's something you should ask yourself. And nobody has this answer, right? I'm doing a project on controlling presentation with voice and hand gesture as my colleague's project. I'm using WASC and OpenCV. Any advice you'd give to me? No, you're in the right direction. In the right direction. If I wasn't clear, you guys are the first people I'm talking to today. So OpenCV is very, very good for object detection. It's really good for these type of tasks. I do find it a bit more complex if you're using cascades. I personally wouldn't use it. I would go for, a neural network that would do it for me, because cascades, I believe you need an XML file that does it. I found it quite complex. But yeah, there is all kinds of like state-of-the-art models that you can take a look. Those that detect objects in videos. Take a look at YOLO, I believe. YOLOV, sorry. Let's see. YOLOV, if I got it right. YOLOV. Real-time object detection. There you go. YOLO, not YOLOV. Why I thought it's YOLOV. But you live only once. Oh, V3. Okay, that's why. But yeah, take a look at that. That should be very interesting. It's state of the art. It was developed by very, very smart people. But yeah, check it out. Let's have a look. Ooh, so many comments. Holy smokes. I cannot even get to a poll because we're we keep talking about things. Wow. You have enough knowledge to train your own small or medium-sized AI models to do what you need it to do. Have you ever considered doing LLVM for AI? Large language video model? Is that what you're talking about? Let's see. LLVM. That would be... Okay, hold on. Meaning. Sorry, guys. It's a new browser, so it doesn't know me very well. A set of compiler and toolchain technologies that can be used to develop a front end for any programming language and a back end for any instruction set architecture. No, I'm not thinking about that. Personally, I'm mostly focused in, artificial intelligence, data science, these type of stuff. That's kind of my personal type of projects. And I'm going to do my final project for university is coming soon. It's right around the corner. It starts on April 8th, at the day of the great eclipse. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know what I'm doing yet before you're asking me. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Your thoughts on Elon Musk's view on AI? He has many views on AI. I just wonder if you can be a bit more specific, because I do think that AI needs to be open, especially if you're aiming to achieve AGI. It has to be transparent, and it has to be open source, as far as I'm concerned. If it is closed sourced, how do you know what kind of data it is based on? And the whole idea of artificial intelligence is that you make the model based on the data, unless you're using reinforcement learning, and then the absence of data is what you need. But the data is more important than the model itself, in many cases, because if your data is terrible, your model will be much worse. So you need your data to be very organized. And wow, we have a super chat. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll go back to the comments shortly. Let's have a look. Oh, we have a new member. Hey, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining, Jay Lurie. So happy to see you. Oh, and we have another member. Wow. Holy smokes. Thank you so much for joining, you guys. We're going to have a members only stream right after this one. I'm going to set it up shortly. Thanks for joining. This is so cool. This is awesome. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I didn't announce the members section yet because I don't know if I'm ready to implement all of it, but we do have a member section, and I'm trying to kind of trying to say hi to everyone and kind of talk to you guys because we have like a small group of members, and it's easier to communicate that way. Yeah, awesome. So where was I? Oh, I lost it. Okay. The best IDE is whatever works best for you in your workflow. So we had a question about IDE then. Let's see. And yeah, if you see an answer from Badger or from Persistent, make sure you understand that these guys are very smart. They give you very good advices, and we agree on many, many things. So it's like hearing an advice from close friends of mine. So definitely check them out. Oh, I've seen this one before. Okay, so it's a bit down. It's a bit lower. Oh, and we have another member. Wow, thank you so much for joining, you guys. Holy smokes. Silver on his birthday has joined our lovely, lovely members section. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Happy birthday again. Yeah, I have good memory. Hopefully it's you and not somebody else. Complimenting myself. Let's see. Привет, Мария. Я так рад тебя видеть снова, хоть и редко вижу тебя. Привет, Умберто. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad to be here. I'm trying to stream more often. I was supposed to do another stream last week, but my voice disappeared. In this office, I can record for much longer periods of time, and I kind of lost my voice. That's why the last part of the tutorial is not filmed yet. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. Yeah. So thank you guys for commenting. Thank you for joining the chat. Sinisha, I use Idle. It's a notepad that can run Python. Yeah. So in terms of what kind of IDE I'm using for Python, it depends what I do. If I'm doing some data science tasks, I'm always using Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook. I find it's much more easy, much more convenient. So same goes for scraping, if I'm web scraping anything. And I haven't done it in a while. I'm trying to stay away from it because I'm known for my bots, but I don't want to be known for my bots. Yeah. Хватит уж говорить на иностранном языке. My Russian is not that good. I wish I could sound smart in Russian, but I don't. My vocabulary is of a 6-year-old because this is where I left. This is when I left. So yeah, it's hard for me to think about smart concepts and ideas in Russian. I use MS Word. I learned Hello World from you. Thank you. But Will Smith. Thank you, Will Smith. But I did I teach Hello World? Cool. I know somebody who actually uses Notepad. So here's a fun fact. When I was 12 and I got my broadband internet connection and I was starting to learn HTML, CSS, I only used Notepad. Okay, only. And it was great. I have no complaints. I didn't mind that it was in light mode. But now there's Notepad++, and there's all kinds of different alternatives. Can you suggest some open source tools you think are good? Not everyone has 99 USD to pay for Sublime Text. I've seen you're using. Sublime cost money? No, Sublime is free. I had it for free. I'm not sure who's charging you money for this software. It's supposed to be free. Let me double check. Maybe they cost you money now. Like I had it on Linux. I had it on Windows. Yeah, download for Windows. You don't need to pay for anything. Like it's a free software. Also, you can use brackets. Brackets is free as well. Like I have it installed, I believe. Yeah, there you go, brackets. And you can have a sneak peek into my ongoing cloud computing video. That's the CPU speed test. Ooh. Sorry, I disappeared. Node.js was asking me a question. Yeah, so what's good about brackets is that you have this live preview button at the very right side. So if you're designing some, HTML websites, it can actually show you the preview. So if we do it now, for example, let's say, okay, so head, oh shoot, HTML. What am I talking about? HTML, and I might as well save it. Hold on. Let's save it. So it all looks nicer. Save as, let's save it in downloads. Okay, test page dot HTML. Great. So we have HTML tag. We then have a head tag, and I might as well make myself a bit smaller. Hold on, I can do it. Ha! There you go. So by the way, because of my green screen issues and because it might fall on my head any single moment, you can see this silly corner right over here, and I cannot, there's no way I can get rid of it. So when my new green screen arrives, it's not going to be there, but with the old one. I have it here. Okay, so head, and we're going to close the head tag. What else we need? We need a body tag. Sorry, guys. Holy smokes. It's been a while. Body tag after the head tag. Okay, and let's say that we want a text, a paragraph of hello world. See, Will Smith? Are you in the comments? Hold on, I'm going to hide this comment. Now I taught you how to do hello world. And actually, let's indent it because that makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah, and then this should be indented as well. And let's have a title. Sorry, folks. Sorry, folks, for HTMLing in front of your eyes. Test page. Okay, that way we can know for sure that we got it right. Okay, so let's press on this live preview button. Okay. Oh, and it works with Chrome that is not installed. Sorry, folks. It's a big oopsie. Okay, but usually if you have a normal instance of Chrome, and I don't know what happened to mine, it got completely broken lately. So I'm using now Brave. On this computer, it doesn't work. But usually it takes you to a Chrome tab. No, I can't relaunch Chrome. It doesn't matter what you do. I have this. This application has failed to start because its side-by-side configuration is incorrect. Please see the application event log or use command line. Yeah, just need to reinstall it or something. So yeah, usually it will work. Okay. Let's close it. Okay, technical problems. It is what it is. And let's move to the second. Yeah, that's right. We're back. So I hope it demonstrated some interesting things for you. Yeah, I agree, Richard. Good morning. What else we have here? HTML simplified. Well, I think it's simplified enough. Oh, and we have Darcy Scrumptions in here. I get to choose the topic. Well, we were supposed to choose the topic about 40 minutes ago. And as you can see, we're still in the comments. We're still chatting. Holy smokes. Yeah. No, Darcy, you can suggest a topic as long as it's not Java. No, I'm joking about Java. But if you guys are building mobile applications, if you're building like, if you're into Android applications, then definitely learn Java or Kotlin or whatever it is. Otherwise, I'd stick to C++ and Python. Let's see what else. I can't even properly pronounce C++ because it's been so long since I used it. We go with the flow here. Exactly. This is a very casual stream. Maria will hack NASA with HTML. I wish. I'm not that smart. Okay, let's see. All the time, Sublime is free, but they plan to limit evaluation time. Oh, so go for brackets or go for... there's so many different IDEs that you can use, and it's actually not even an IDE. It's just a code editor. So yeah, I'm not joking about about Java. Sorry to hear it. I'm joking because I don't use it, so that's why it's so funny to me. Any plans with Arduino? This is something that my brother does. I don't know if I want to do it, and he had a very long project with Arduino. Uh, I don't know. I wasn't impressed. It was quite complex. Raspberry Pi. Yeah, so if you guys are interested in that, check out Kevin. Kevin is doing all these things. So let's see. Kevin's chat. Oh, hold on. Kevin McAleer. I'm gonna find one of his platforms. Oh, he has his own Wikipedia page. What? Oh no, a stand-up comedian. Okay, so that's not the Kevin McAleer was talking about. Holy smokes, you guys. Okay, so if we go to the live streams and we take a look at this stream, robotic stream with Kevin McAleer, you can see you can see him there. So he's doing robotic stuff. And yeah. Cool. Do you think Python will ever adopt the plus plus syntax, or is it just too confusing for Python devs to ever understand? There's no need, really. Like, it's not about understanding or not understanding. You know, there's the whole idea of having different programming languages is having a variety to choose from. So Python is known for a very English-like type of syntax. It's very intuitive, I would say. Like, with all the programming languages I know, including JavaScript, I think Python is the most intuitive and the easiest to understand. But some people, they cannot handle indentations for some reason. I put indentations everywhere, even in my HTML, in my JavaScript. So to me, it's very, very nice. But yeah, I don't think we will adopt this syntax because the whole idea of Python, it's based on C++ to begin with, right? Or C, not C++, sorry. I don't want to misguide you. It's based on C. So you don't really need the syntax, because if you have the syntax and the functionality, then it's just C, right? What's the point in having Python to begin with if that's the case? But yeah, that's just my thought. I want to learn C++ and C Maria more often live. Yeah, I'll be doing this every week, maybe even more often. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I want to invite some guests. I want them to come over and kind of talk to me, so it's less lonely. But yeah, C++, it's a very, very interesting language to learn, especially if you're into desktop applications. You can basically be very specific with how you want your data to manifest. So you can reserve the number of bits you want in memory. You can be much less ambiguous than you are with Python. And to be fair, you can be very specific with Python too. The fact that Python is a high-level language, where a very abstract type of language where you can switch the data type of a variable along the way. You can also use Python in a low level. You can take libraries like NumPy, and you can be very specific with the type of data that can be stored in every variable. And that way you will have errors if you try to switch it somewhere along the way. So there's a variety of things to do. And the beauty with computers is that you have so much choice. And yeah. MicroPython. Yeah, MicroPython is something that Kevin teaches. So check out Kevin McAleer. You will find a lot of valuable information there. Badger, aren't you graduating soon? What are the plans post-graduation? It's funny because I had the same discussion with Matt Harrison, who wrote all those Pandas books. You can find him on LinkedIn. I showed you his book the last time. So I'm not sure. I do I really like doing what I'm doing and not having school, kind of poking me on my shoulder every now and then is something that will allow me to film more tutorials here on Python Simplified. But I definitely would love to participate in some research for sure. Something that has to do with perhaps reinforcement learning. It's something that it's something that I used to be a bit scared of, and I'm still scared of, but I think that people are doing it anyways. And I think having, I think getting involved in something that I believe will bring, the era of AGI. Because I think that AGI is not a scholar, is not a model that you just teach. It's a model that is a critical thinker. And in order to create a critical thinker, you cannot expose it to any type of data. You need it to make its own conclusions and so its own decisions. And I think it will all come from the realm of, reinforcement learning. Because I think the things that we cannot figure out are in the realm of consciousness and in the realm of awareness. How do you know that something is aware? How can you measure awareness? You never can. So all those fancy companies that are taking pride in the fact that they are about to achieve AGI, I don't know what they're talking about. You cannot measure it. You cannot measure the presence or the absence of awareness, let alone, measuring the degree of awareness. So it's very hard to declare that you have AGI when one of the most important functions of the human brain is inachievable. But yeah, so what I'm thinking about, and that's something I'm thinking about a lot, is what happens if you create a reinforcement learning model that learns everything about the world completely on its own, that makes its own conclusions about everything. And the only thing you really need to do is a simulation that is very, very believable. So that's the type of stuff I'm thinking about. I wish I was thinking about different things. So I would love to participate in this type of project sometimes in the future. And we have a super chat, and I think it's Tobbs. It is Tobbs. Let's have a look. Tobbs, thank you so much for the coffee. You didn't say anything. I thought you'll have a nice comment there. Something funny, as usual. Come on. Let's see. Maybe you're somewhere in the bottom of the comments. So yeah, Badger, I'll let you know. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Let's see. Who else know that functions are actually objects and you can use it as namespace? My mind was blown when I find it a few weeks ago. It's amazing, even though unconventional. So everything in Python is an object. Everything, which is incredible. Some programming languages are like that. Python is one of them. But yeah, everything's an object, everything. Yeah. Oh, Tobbs. Hi. I was just passing through and buying a poor student a coffee. For sure. Yeah. Now with, moving here, I definitely fit the category for sure. With my recent move, I had to leave my previous apartment unexpectedly. Right. So that was fun. Deadly discernment. Maybe you don't need to create artificial consciousness, but decrease human consciousness. Can you decrease it even further? Holy smokes, I've seen some examples of folks that just refuse to kind of accept reality, kind of led by their emotions rather than, logical thinking. I see them a lot. Reducing human consciousness, probably a bad idea. I think the fabric of our reality depends on this consciousness. And I come from a very kind of spiritual type of world where the word active consciousness kind of repeats itself. And if you look into, frankly, quantum physics and what it means that when we close our eyes, the moon is not really there. It's a famous quote by Albert Einstein that I kind of distorted. But the fabric of our reality depends on our consciousness. That's what I believe. So we cannot reduce it. And we cannot really replicate it. That's another thing I want to say. It's not something that we can ideally replicate. And even if we can make a conscious machine, whichever way we are able to measure it, I know that now with Neuralink, we're kind of making some advancements in this field. And this is absolutely creepy, if we'll have tools to measure consciousness. Holy smokes, you guys, it's gonna be a wild west, that's for sure. But yeah, it's all philosophical. I lose my train of thought very often when there is nobody to kind of give me immediate feedback on the conversation. My apologies on that. Can machine learning be used to mimic human mouse movements? You don't need machine learning for that. You can just use, automation, Selenium. I have a few tutorials on that. Check out Selenium, and I call it web scraping, but it's actually automation. You don't need an AI model for that. You can just have a believable bot that randomly clicks on things. But yeah, you can mimic any capability that is intellectual and doesn't require a pair of hands, a pair of legs, these type of stuff. You should be able to do it with AI, specifically with narrow AI, and that's AI that is capable of doing only one thing and one thing only. It's an expert, when it comes to recognizing cats, but when it sees a dolphin, it is so confused. That's narrow AI. The category that's after it, that would be AGI. We haven't achieved it yet, and if they tell you we did, we didn't. They cannot prove it. There's no way. We have some political comments. I can't wait to answer them, actually. Star-Lord, I see you. It's not something I talk about on the channel because, and the reason why we don't talk about politics here is because when I grew up, I'm in an educational field, right? I'm teaching things. So when I grew up, I never knew what my teachers, what their ideology is, what they think about the world and things like that. And I hold them in high regard. So I kind of trying to do what they're doing. But people who know me, we talk a lot about politics. Most of my daily conversations are about politics, especially here in Canada. You go to a grocery store, you're talking about it. Like you go to, a gas station, you're talking about it. And people are very, very outraged about things. So, but yeah, I see your comment, but I cannot click on it. I hope one day you'll make a video on what's on my PC. Oh, holy smokes. There's so many things on it. I don't even want to do it. You'll think I'm very disorganized. So basically what my PC has is a whole bunch of stuff that my spouse is using and what I'm using. My spouse is really into simulators. So we have, driving simulators. We have Cessna commercial planes simulators. Like we have all the equipment. We have fighter jets simulators now. We have a Quest 3 that we are using now with the simulators. So yeah, it's interesting. I caught my spouse reading a manual of a Warhog plane, like an actual manual of the actual plane, because the equipment we have is an actual replica. So the amount of stuff I have installed on my computer is just insane. Just to run the Quest 3 in proper settings, you need like 3 applications. Like you need virtual desktop, you need like OpenXR, you need where was it? The Oculus software, you need some, I forget, you know what? Forget about it. I don't care. I just want it to work. I don't care what needs to be done. It's very difficult to create a huge reinforcement model. And what if the model gets bad conclusions about the world? So usually when you make a reinforcement model, you also design a simulation. You also design some kind of a gym, some kind of an environment where this model can thrive. You don't just connect it to the internet and kind of let it loose, because it's going to be very, very hard to control. You need a controlled environment. And when you have this controlled environment, you have a function. There's different kind of functions, right? But the idea behind reinforcement learning is that you have 2 versions of the model. One of them is the current version in the current iteration of it. And one of them is the model, but 4 frames ago or 4 actions ago. And then the model evaluates itself. And you have a series of rewards and punishments, right? So you have to think about these things in advance. That's why you need a controlled environment. So for example, if you're playing a game of Tetris, right? So if you are able to complete, a full row in Tetris, that gives you 5 points. So when the model is able to do so, it knows that, hey, a good thing happened. Okay. But you also need a set of punishments. So in case that it doesn't have it, you need to give it a minus point. So when the model sees the world, it knows nothing of the world. It doesn't even know what each button does. It knows that it can push on button A, button B, and button C, but it has no idea about the rules of the game or how to play it. So it's going to randomly choose, at least at first, it's going to randomly choose one of these keys, and it's going to press on it a few times, right? And then the model will see if it lost points or if it gained points. If it gained points, great. It can just move on and continue pressing on other buttons. If it lost points, that means that it should go back to the original state of the model and try other random actions. So it's hard to explain without drawing it. And it's hard to draw it without preparing to draw it, because I'm not sure what to draw yet. But it's a very, very interesting, topic. But you always need a controlled environment, because if you cannot control it, I don't think the model will be able to train at all. It can just release it to the wild. Yeah. Maybe one day we will be able to. Let's see. Religion has not yet been involved in AI. Can it have a tiny place in this realm? Least of all, AI is an interdisciplinary field, thus capable of involving with other fields. So I think religion was involved with AI to begin with. I think the first argument of Alan Turing of why machines cannot think is God gave us an eternal soul. So basically, thinking is a function of soul and spirit. God gave us humans an eternal soul, but he didn't give it to machines. And therefore, machines cannot think. So that's the first thing that Alan Turing tried to negate in his article. If you'd like to see my video about it, I talk about it a bit more. I think that will be in videos. So there you go. It's here. That's the video. Sorry, that's the video. Can machines think? Machines can't think. Okay, so we talk about it in extent there. And it's one of the only arguments that I think were impossible to negate, because we don't know, we cannot prove scientifically that there is no God. We cannot. We can assume it, and many, scientists think so. But also many scientists, the more we look into science, the more we see signs of God. The more we look into math, we see that it cannot be random. So there are a lot of scientists that are, this is their sentiment, right? So it all depends who you ask. Another argument that I don't think that Alan Turing was able to negate is the argument of consciousness. And we talked about it before, but we didn't really dive deep into it. But for example, we now have all those fancy artificial, generative, models. We have generative AI, not general AI. Holy smokes, I can't believe I misspoke it so badly. Okay, we have generative AI that creates music, that creates art, But how do we know that it's not just a bunch of symbols and digits falling in place based on some mathematical algorithm, rather than, what usually drives artists to create art, passion, emotions, something that comes from within. So it's not just about creating something, but it's also about understanding why you created it. What was the motivation? And the argument is the only way for us to know if something is conscious or not is to be that something, right? How do we know that the model is self-aware? We can't. We need to be it, at least now. And again, I think we're nearing an age where we start experimenting in this field, especially with Neuralink. I know that they've implanted it into some folks already. I think they're researching it, and it can be a very good technology, but it can also be a very scary technology. I don't know where it's going to go. I have a lot of respect to Elon Musk. I don't think I'd be even studying Python without his contribution. Because I don't know if you know it, but after I read an article about Tesla's autopilot, and I read that it is using artificial intelligence technology, not will be using. Okay. I said, okay, well, I have to study it. I threw everything. I found the very first course I could find is this nano degree that I keep bashing. And that's how I'm familiar with Python. So I know Python because I started to learn artificial intelligence, not artificial intelligence because I started to learn Python, right? So that's my story. But yeah, and I kind of owe it to Elon. So what do you think of Sora? I think Sora will help a lot of people in making artistic pictures. Yeah, I know a lot of creators are using it for their thumbnails and stuff like that. Like it's cool, like all kinds of generative models. There's Midjourney as well. There's all kinds of different models. But yeah, it could help and it could destroy. It has both powers. So for a graphic design, somebody who used to be a graphic designer, this is a very, very bad news. Because or illustrators, people who illustrate things, and people who make. I know a lot of folks who are in the movie industry or in the gaming industry, and they feel the noose. They do. The noose. Yeah, sorry about my accent, but yeah, it's justifiable fears, especially because we're, generative AI is at its diapers. This is a new thing. We used to have different kinds of models, but the generative models, it's something that we are only now kind of creating, because before we had something called pattern matching, and it wasn't as sophisticated. These algorithms, they still work. They're amazing. Okay. This is how we are able to generate language in a believable way. But these models were relatively simple. Now we can have complex conversations with some robot, and we wouldn't necessarily know that it's a robot, right? So we're nearing a point where it's very hard to believe our eyes and ears. Before, we would base our reality, okay, if I see it, if I hear it, it must be, it must be true. Now, everything that we receive in a digital way, it can be manipulated, and it could be manipulated for many years. I have Photoshop since I'm 12, okay? There is nothing new about it, right? So before, I had 3 moles on my face. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I kept removing them all the time with my Photoshop skills, right? Now I remove them physically. I went to a doctor, I did it, but I used to do it since I'm 12. I hated those moles. So yeah, we're at the stage where this can be generated like that without you actually learning Photoshop for years and, just write a prompt, make me pretty, press enter, and boom. So very interesting. Would Jesus recommend making AI? Well, I'm not too familiar with Jesus because I am Jewish, but I don't think he would. I think you cannot stop, something that we collectively envisioned as humans. I don't think it is stoppable. And we envisioned it many, many years ago. And if Google and if OpenAI and if all these companies are in a race of achieving it, how do you stop it? You can't. You just make your own. You try to make it transparent. You try to make it as open as possible, unlike OpenAI. And you try to kind of make it work in our benefit and not in our demise. Because I don't trust things that are hidden from me. I trust things that I know. And there's lots of software that I use that I don't know their source code and stuff like that, but they're not as significant as, this AI model that you delegate all your intellectual tasks to. I know people that are no longer writing their own emails. Why? Just let ChatGPT do it, And when you stop practicing something, it's not about just becoming lazy. So I'll give you the best example. So for the past, I'm a very social person. You put me in a room, I can make a lot of friends with everyone. And it's been like that for years. But for the past 3 years, ever since I have this channel, 4 years. What am I talking about? It's already almost 4. Ooh, holy smokes. I'm working from home. I don't have any callings. I do have friends who I'm talking with, but these people I already know them. They're my friends. I'm already comfortable with them. So when I went to the GTC and I've seen so many people who I don't know, and I need to meet, I need to approach them, and I need to meet them, and I need to talk to them. So I'm not just walking around alone and confused. This muscle in my brain that was always so advanced and was always so good, I lost it. I couldn't do it anymore. Like, I couldn't do it well anymore, because I could just approach someone and start a random conversation with, but I can't do it anymore. That's because I didn't do it for so long. And yeah, and we lose those capabilities if we delegate it to AI all the time. We're gonna get worse and worse in it. So even though it's probably saving you some time, and it's probably a good thing, everything has to be done. There's a price for everything. That's what I was trying to say. Let's see. You have mentioned you have experience with C++. Why did you switch to Python, and which one do you like more? I personally prefer C# or C++ as it's object-oriented, and I'm in game dev field. Yeah. So basically, it's not like I started and switched. So I knew Python before I knew C++. So C++ is something that I learned in school, in university, and I love C++. It's like a really nice language. But what takes you 5 lines of code and very intuitive commands in Python would take you, quadruple that, in C++. And object-oriented, Python is also object-oriented, but C++, it allows you to be very specific. For game development, obviously, you're not going to use Pygame. You're going to use Unity. You're going to use Unreal Engine. You're going to use like all these different cool engines for that. And C#. I've used a bit of C# with Unity. I don't think it's too different from C++, honestly, but maybe there's something wrong with me. Having to create a header file and a CPP file, and declaring variables before you declaring them in advance before you assign them to anything is a great practice. It's something that many programming languages do, but I think that Python is easier, right? It's going to be a bit slower, but we don't use Python for its speed. We use it for different factors. If you need to just throw something very, very easily, if you need to do something very quickly, I would never use C++ for that, because I know it's not going to be quick. I know that there's a chance that I'll get this compiler error. And I wouldn't know where on earth the issue is. I wouldn't know even which line of code produces the error. So it's a matter of preference, and it's a matter of what you're doing, right? If you're making games, there's no reason to use Python. I know that Pygame is nice, but you cannot make a commercial game with Python. You need something else. But yeah, let's see. Can I program you to be a function in my life? You cannot program a human being. And I'm far more than a function. I would say I'm a class. I would say I'm a large language model, a generative one. What would you use instead? Unity or Unreal Engine, the traditional gaming stuff. Let's see. I think it's a trade-off between run speed and dev speed. Not only, there are certain things that traditionally are done with Python. For example, data science. There are very, very good libraries for data science when it comes to Python. And, when it comes to kind of delegating tasks to your GPU, I think Python is perfect for that too. I'm not sure how to do it with C++, and I know it's quite hardcore to do it with C++. But if you're ever planning to, run some processes on your GPU, then Python is probably the way to go. Also, machine learning, PyTorch, TensorFlow, these are Python libraries. They are based on C. Yes, the commands are written. The actual code is based on C, but the commands we give it is written in Python. So not all Python libraries are slow. There are certain Python libraries we call CPython, and that will be NumPy, that will be Matplotlib, that would be OpenCV. right? They're all based on C. And there are different ways of accelerating, even libraries that are slow, right? So pandas is known to be very slow. But if you use cuDF pandas, it's not going to be slow at all. I have a tutorial on it, quite recent. cuDF. And actually, cuDF is not just cuDF pandas. There's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do. So if you're into sentiment analysis, holy smoke, check out cuDF. But not cuDF pandas, but like the whole cuDF thing. So the cool part about it, sentiment analysis tasks in particular, that's when we extract meaning from text. Okay, there's unsorted text, and we try to kind of sort it in a logical way. Okay, so if you're into that, usually, traditionally, what I used to do is I used to tokenize, a sentence, turn it into a list of words rather than a long string, right? And I would perform some manipulation on, those items within those lists. But what cuDF does, they perform those actions on a string. So you don't really need to convert it into a list and tokenize it first. You tokenize it last. And then all your actions are performed on strings, which are much easier to handle than a list of strings. Okay, that's a not as complex of a data type. So there are some really cool solutions there. I highly recommend checking it out. I didn't cover cuDF right on the channel, but I used it for school. It was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. In high school, machine language was the only way to program games and sound / voices. Oh, wow. Machine language. Wow. No, thank you. No, thank you. That's like way too much. I personally hate the Python syntax, and mostly that I don't know where a variable was declared. It was never declared. That's the thing. For Slav, we don't declare them. I'm looking in a loop, and all of a sudden I see a variable that was not declared anywhere. But that's an iteration variable. You also have it in C++. You have it in object-oriented, like you have it in JavaScript. And if that's the iteration variable, right? If it's another variable, it's something else. But the same principles apply to Python too. If you really want to declare variables ahead of time, you can do it. Just use libraries like NumPy, because it allows you to specify, okay, this and this variable absolutely has to be this and this data type, right? And you can always declare variables, right? So if you, for example, let's launch Jupyter Notebook. Let's see. Finally, I'm gonna do some coding. So which working environment do I want? Let's go for faster pandas. Okay. Conda activate faster pandas. Jupyter lab. Okay. Let's copy our, Jupyter lab -- allow -root. Yeah, I'll make myself a bit smaller. Oh, not here. Here. Let's have a look. Let's copy our token and let's connect via Brave. First time in history, my Jupyter Notebook is on Brave, Jupyter Lab. Okie dokie. Okay, these are school exercises. FF and PEG, if you guys know this library, it's really, really cool. Let's go. No, let's go here. Let's create a new notebook here. Good. So how do you declare a variable? Well, you don't have to write var something. You can say apple, which is a string. You declared it. Same thing, right? You declared it in advance. You can do it, right? Or you can say it's an empty string, right? Something exists there, but it has, or even better, you can say apple is none, right? So realistically, you can declare them in advance, but you don't have to. That's the beauty of it. I can't believe that I did all this demo just to write this silly line of code. Sorry, guys. I wasn't thinking about it. I thought it's going to be more complex. Okay, if you are convinced that humans are not working to their potential, what would you do to encourage it? It's not my place. I think you cannot convince someone to do something unless they want to do it. And you cannot convince someone to believe in something unless they see it with their own eyes. So, you can try to influence them, but you're just a talking head on the internet, right? Nobody really knows me. Well, I guess Bedger and Josh know me a bit, but not too many people kind of met me in real life and got to have conversations with me. So you don't know what kind of motives I have. And a lot of people will try to convince you in things, and a lot of people will try to tell you, well, I am right. I'm always right, but you don't know what hides behind their motives. So unfortunately, I think the most effective way is to have conversations with people you know and people you trust, people you can vouch for their characters. So your friends, your colleagues, your family, people who you know for years and you kind of know what to expect from them. So when you have conversations with these type of people, you can of course influence their opinions because they know you're legit. They know you're solid. But not a lot of people will get convinced from something that an influencer on the internet says. I hope so. If they do, holy smokes, we are doomed. Because if you've seen the kind of stuff I receive in my email, wow. So I don't believe, generally speaking, every time I see a top 10, these are the best tools for ABC or whatever it is, I don't believe it. Why? Because I got a bunch of emails telling me, hey, Maria, do you want to make an article saying that my program is the best? Maybe do a top 10, type of programs, but my program will be the best. So not only did I never try their program, I never tried the other 9 programs as well. And I'm supposed to lie to everyone? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So ever since I got this email, this offer, I don't trust anything. I generally don't trust anything I see on the internet. And it's something that I have since I'm 12, because the things I've seen on the internet back then are are very interesting, But I don't trust since then. What's the best way to reach out to you for mentorship code review? I don't do this. The hero, I don't do it. No, yeah, I think filming tutorials is a bit more important than reviewing somebody's code. And if you want people to review your code, Stack Overflow is probably a very good place. Check out Stack Overflow. That's my recommendation. But yeah, for somebody to review your code, it takes a long time, especially if it's a complex application. It's something you do in school, something you kind of submit projects in school and they review it. In my school, they don't provide you too much feedback, but it depends on the school, I guess. Pandas, Scikit-learn, Keras are good packages. I like Streamlit for web development. Nice. Let's see. I'll go to the bottom of the comments because there's a whole bunch. Yes, AI already generates code. Yeah, for sure. Knowing the consequences to the economy and people livelihoods, why are programmers so eager to develop AI? One, they feel a news too. When I said a year ago that, developers should stop saying that ChatGPT is so much better than us. Look, it's so much better in coding than me. A lot of you guys enjoyed the video, okay? I got mostly positive feedback, but a lot of you also didn't agree with me. I said that in the perspective of your employer, if an AI model that used to be free back then, I don't know if it's free still, if it can do the same job that you can do, why on earth would your employer pay you, $150,000 a year for that? And a lot of you said, no, this will never happen. That's one of the reasons why I covered Alan Turing's article, Machine Intelligence and I forgot. Computing intelligent machine. Holy smokes, I can't believe I forgot. It's one of my favorite articles. I'm so sorry, you guys. Computing intelligence and machinery article. Holy smokes. My apologies. I'm going to pull it out because I owe you this name. And please read it. Don't just like watch my video, read it. It's not complex language. Alan Turing was not using like scholarly terms. He was using like very relatable terms. Let's see, computing, machinery, and intelligence. Let's see. Yeah, it is computing, machinery, and intelligence. Mind, Oxford release. Let's have a look. You want to open or not? There you go. I'm going to send it in the comments. Please read this article. Please do. Because this whole concept of AI, again, it's not a new thing. And we know that it may affect livelihoods since the 1950s. It's not a new thing. It's just that recently it became something that you're not allowed to talk about because now it has political implications. We were not at a stage where machines were actually threatening humans, but have a look at some projects. And I suggest, I highly recommend, let me pull it out actually. There are a few inventions that I want you to take a look at. So first of all, that will be the AlphaGo model. So this was a model from many, many years ago, actually. Oh, it was edited a month ago. Thank you, Wikipedia, for editing history. Okay, so AlphaGo was a model that was trained on playing the game of Go. What happened to the world champion of Go when he lost to this model? He quit. So it was the world champion of this sport, and he achieved the biggest awards. But as soon as he lost to this model, he said, it doesn't really matter how good I'll be. It doesn't matter how many years I'll invest in the sport because I will never be as good as this machine. So the thing about machines is that things that humans are generally bad at, machines are good at. Things that, generally humans are good at, machines are bad at, right? So that's not the only example, though. Take a look at Watson. Let's see, Watson model. And this is a very, very interesting, no, not Emma Watson. No, not Hermione. Come on, machine learning model. Okay, the game of Jeopardy. And I actually had the privilege of seeing an iteration of, was it Watson? No, I didn't see it. No, sorry. I'm confusing it with Deep Blue. So yeah, it uses a deep QA algorithm. Sorry. Let's see. Let me pull it out. Trying to find something interesting. Let's go to Wikipedia again. Probably also edited a month ago. Or something. Okay, so IBM Watson, check out this model. So if you know the game of Jeopardy, this is a game where humans provide quick answers. So part of this model wasn't just providing an answer to an open forum question, right? Which is something that generally is quite hard for artificial intelligence models because they first need to understand what was asked. Then they need to search in, a pre-learned database and answer to this question. And they also need to kind of understand what exactly they are expected to answer very quickly, way quicker than humans. And this model is the champion of the world in Jeopardy now. Okay, I don't know if it caused the players of Jeopardy to quit, but there was at least 2 players that it beat very severely. So what they did with this model is they basically now converted it into a artificial doctor. So they added a component of uncertainty into this model. And I read, the paper that they wrote on it. I had a module in university. I think it was the artificial intelligence module, where part of my my assessment was submitting 3 articles that I read. So one of them was about a game playing AI. The other one was about Watson, specifically the conversion of Watson, the trivia and question answering model, into a doctor. And the third one was a game of sim. It was basically like Sims. It was basically interactions with, it was a community. It was like a Simville. I can't remember how they called it. It was a little town that they built with a bunch of models that started developing relationships with one another. One model started throwing a birthday party for another model, and then guests arrived, and it's incredible. Okay. So the Watson portion of it was very, very interesting because they added a component of uncertainty. So if the model is certain below a certain threshold, if it's certainty, it's like, I think that there are only 40% that, this diagnosis that I'm giving is the correct diagnosis, then it tells the patient, go and talk to a human doctor. But if it is 80% certain that, these symptoms lead to this and this diagnosis, then it gives you a diagnosis. Okay, which was very, very interesting. And then when I thought of it, I also thought of how doctors give you diagnosis. This, in current age, they look at your symptoms and then they look at statistics. So basically, when they look at your symptoms, they also look at your personal history, your health history. They look at your parents' history, right? Did you have any diseases in the family? They always ask you that. And then they look at worldwide statistics. What are the chances that this person has this and this disease? Well, 50% of the population has it. So the chances are much higher that these symptoms are of this disease rather than one that, 30% of the population get. And then I was thinking, what is the difference between Watson and them? Right? So it's definitely food for thought. Now, I don't know if Watson is currently being used in like medical applications, but I know that it's a paper that was written a few years ago. So it's definitely interesting. But yeah, so I think that, okay, so back to our question. Sorry, I digress. I have nobody to kind of give me immediate feedback. So that's what happens. I think that if more developers, or generally, if more of the general public had more knowledge about AI and what it actually means, if they bothered to learn what it means rather than just talking about it or hearing some, I don't know, if influencer or news anchor or whoever is talking about it and relying on their words, if they actually looked into the actual definition of things, I don't think we'd be at this stage, because it's absurd to say that AI is only good or AI is only bad. Okay? And in a perfect world where you can trust all kinds of entities that control us, it wouldn't be a problem. But it's a matter of trust. And I don't think we have this trust currently, globally, anywhere in the world. And that's all I'm going to say about it without diving into politics. I see your discussions in the chat. I know you guys are talking about more complex stuff, but I cannot comment on that. I wish I could. It's not my place. Which path would you recommend for someone looking to work in the intersection of medicine and technology besides drug development? So drug development right now is delegated to AI, much of it. There is a type of model called a robot scientist. We looked at it. One of the lecturers in my university, she was actually developing it. It is a model that is capable of making hypotheses. So basically, besides a large collection of scholarly articles, the model also has embedded logic. So it basically has all those different elements, the element scale. It has their weights, how many electrons they have, all this information. It is embedded within the model. And the model can also access knowledge that comes from different scholarly sources. So whether if it's articles or research, and it basically, because computers are very good with finding patterns in information, like observing lots and lots of information, pages upon pages, and kind of finding what they have in common, certain patterns. It is capable of making logical decisions in the realm of, let me show it to you like this. Okay, so if A infers B, and if sorry, and if, this is pseudocode, it's not Python, sorry. And if B infers C, then A infers C as well, right? So this is what we call a hypothesis, right? Because we know that this is for sure, and we know that this is for sure. But this, we assumed. And based on this hypothesis, the robot scientist starts developing some experiments. And then these experiments are meant to prove that A actually infers C. Okay? It's very, very interesting. And we actually were able to find already solutions in the realm of, drug development using AI. So if you are into medicine, start from AI. Okay? Get your... I feel silly for saying this because I feel silly for doing this myself, but get your BSc in computer science. I don't know. I feel silly for doing this given the fact that I have a YouTube channel and I'm already known for these type of stuff. But if I was, just regular Maria who was still a graphic designer, I would probably consider it as a good thing to do. Start from this, learn what you need to learn. And then for your second degree, for your master's, go and learn something in the realm of biology. Because to be a researcher, and this is what you do when you're developing drugs, you're a researcher, you need at least a second degree, major, not a bachelor. From what I understand, because originally I wanted to study a biochemistry. And I'm very glad I didn't do so, because I was told that I need a second degree, like I need a master's in it in order to actually be engaged in research. If you don't have a second degree, that you're basically working in some factory with a $25 an hour job. I had a friend who did it, all masked the whole day because you're dealing with like some chemical substances that may hurt you. So research, typically, you need to spend 6 years in academia, unfortunately, to do so. Traditionally speaking, I know that there are some cases where it's not the case. How can you advise people who are planning to venture into machine learning, and where should they start? So what I usually say, start from a free course. Don't pay anybody money for that. Go for some, let's look for it together. Let's see. Okay. So let's see if they have something on Udacity. Udacity introduction to AI. Let's see. Let's have a look. Okay, introduction to artificial intelligence, free. Okay, free. Now, I tell you for sure that there's going to be a lot of things that you won't understand. Okay, they don't explain it properly. They use fancy mathematical formulas to explain things that they can just explain with proper examples, right? And don't get frustrated, because all the complex things, at least most of them, I already covered on my channel. So if you look for a playlist called, I have it here, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning Simplified. I'm going to share it in the comments. Okay, I shared it. If you go to the videos, I covered a lot of the concept here. So what you're going to find complex is probably the perceptron. You're going to find complex is definitely cross-entropy loss. Then gradient descent. Okay. And here I basically show you how to train a neural network by coding the physical algorithms. Okay. We're not using some shortcuts that, PyTorch or TensorFlow provides us, but we're actually coding the algorithms themselves. Okay, but there's a whole bunch of helpful things here, including some things that I should probably remove. These ones are not related, but never mind. But yeah, definitely check out this playlist. I think it will help you on your journey. But yeah, take this course. It's a very similar course to the one I took in my nano degree. So that's why I feel comfortable kind of recommending it. But if you change Udacity to Coursera, you'll probably find some introduction to artificial intelligence for free there as well. Let's have a look. There you go. Enroll free. So don't pay the money. Please don't, at least until you kind of grasp the background of it. And it's like 8 hours of course for a beginner level. So yeah. Coursera is where I learned from my degree. It's a program with University of London. Don't take it. Don't take it. I don't recommend taking it. It's terrible. They have too many students in class. They cannot function anymore. It used to be nicer, but now it's just chaos. But my videos, the videos that my lecturers film, are given to me by Coursera, basically. And that's where I submit all my work, on Coursera as well. And there's a lot of miscommunication between Coursera and the university. For example, we got grades. So basically, they tell you, okay, for this and this midterm, you have 4 different tasks, and each task has an equal weight. Okay, so altogether they form 40 points. But in Coursera, one of them has 12 points. Okay, the other ones have less. Okay, but one of them is better than the other, and nobody in the university bothers to fix it, right? So the grades are just silly. There's no point. They don't care. They simply don't. Unless you fail, they're not even going to let you redo anything. It's insane. It's insane. Okay, we've seen this. Okay, let's go to the last few comments. Oh, you guys are talking. Holy smokes. I'm assuming politics. How to start with coding and learning a new language. How would you recommend to start this coding journey? How to start coding? Just jump on it, get thrown into the water and do it. When I learned HTML, I didn't know anything about HTML, but I really wanted to make a website. First of all, understand what you want to build, and then you understand which language you want to learn. That's how it starts. But start with your own project. It depends on how you learn too, right? Some people like to watch tutorials. Some people like reading the documentations. It depends on you. When I teach someone convolutional neural networks, the students start becoming convoluted. Yeah. It's a tough one. I agree. But I think if you simplify it enough to the smallest of components, and if you give examples from real life, you can actually explain it pretty well. It depends on your teacher, because everybody can grasp it. The question is, who teaches you that? Very often. That's your link, not... Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. Holy smokes. My apologies. My apologies. I will share the proper link. Yikes. Did I do that? Go ahead. Yikes. I don't really look at what I copy. Sorry. I got it now. Okay. One advice I would suggest for beginners: please avoid using ChatGPT to generate code, at least for beginners. Yeah. I would suggest it to people who are not beginners either. Just use your critical thinking skills and Google it. I don't know. What's the difference? It's just like ChatGPT is choosing, the Google article that it wants to rely on, or, the Stack Overflow answer, or the, GitHub example. But you have the capability of choosing it yourself, and you kind of delegate it to a model that somebody else made for you. And it's supposed to be designed for millions of other people. You can actually make your own model, and then it's designed specifically for you and for your needs. You don't need them, right? You don't need to use AI when you can build it. That's my sentiment. They already use predictive modeling and patient diagnosis. Oh, really? I don't know if it's legal in Canada, I'll be honest with you. Let me sip some coffee, just a sec. Oh, it's so cold now. But yeah, I'm sure they use it. It makes sense. It makes sense. I don't know if I trust it in particular, but actually I trust, I prefer natural medicine to begin with, but that's just me. I'm a hippie. Do you like Linux or Windows? I prefer Linux, to be honest, but Windows is what I use because I'm gaming, once in a while. So I don't think it's as doable on a Linux machine at this point in time. Plus, Adobe is unusable on Linux. There is no Adobe suite on Linux, so I need to have Windows installed. Plus, my spouse will not let me install Linux. But I prefer Linux. I have a Linux machine that is no longer operational. It's my Kali Linux. It's my old broken laptop, but I prefer it. So from now on, like I used to code directly in a Windows environment. Now I'm doing this from WSL. I know it's Ubuntu, it's Windows-ish, but it is what it is. Is it, come on, Maria, teach me how to train the Sint 19K dataset. I'm really struggling. Sint 90K. I don't know this one. 19K. Let's see what it is. What is this? Attention, OCR. Huh. Yeah, I'll need to look into it myself. It's about this. Oh, I see myself. It's the first time I hear about this, so I'll need to have a look. Let's see what else we have here. A bunch of comments. It takes weeks to train. So you may need a better machine, probably. You may need cloud infrastructure to do so, if that's the case. I have seen graphics that I created, I even downloaded some models, and the art that they produce isn't exactly in line with what I asked for. Sure, if we go right now, if we go to Photoshop, actually, let me pull out a picture from the GTC, picture of myself. We will use Photoshop for that because they also have generative AI in it. Let's have a look. So let's take, for example, hold on, I'm looking for a nice picture. I'm looking for something very nice. Okay, here it is. Let's open it with Photoshop. Let's try to play with it. You'll be surprised of how kind of backwards it is at the moment, even for Photoshop, who have been developing AI for years. For years, you can actually add neural filters to your image. Hold on, pull it up. Okay, this is me with the Adobe head office, by the way. It's very big for me. Adobe here. So hold on, I'm gonna make it smaller. Okay, so let's say that you select this image and you ask the generative fill. Sorry, I'm gonna have to remove the comment. You ask the generative fill to remove sunglasses. Let's have a look. See what it does. Because every time it does something a bit differently. Let's see. It takes some time. Yeah. What is this? Right? What am I looking at? What is this? What do you mean you removed sunglasses? What did you do here? So it doesn't work as expected, but let's give it something a bit more specific. Okay? Let's do, let's maybe select subject, which is also a neural filter. Okay, it found me, which is great. And now let's ask, what do you guys want to ask? Katrina, it did remove the sunglasses, yeah, but everything else as well. Okay, what do you guys want to ask? Let's see. Let's see. Make her a metal music fan. I kind of am. you know, I don't listen to it now, but I used to be a vocalist in a heavy metal band named Demented. I was younger. Uh, yeah, let's see. Okay, so there's a bit of a delay, so I cannot really see what you guys want to do. So maybe let's ask it to uh, make lipstick brighter. Let's have a look. Let's see. I'll have to remove the comments so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Lipstick brighter. Right. Some, turn the cap into a top hat. Over it soon, JT. I'll do it. That's what we'll do next. But I wonder how it's going to handle this one. See? Yeah, the lipstick is brighter, but that's not me. It sure is brighter, but it looks nothing like me. Look Look at that. Look at that. Who's that? Who's that lady? What is this thing? Wow. Okay. No Photoshop. You didn't do it well. Okay. So let's say if we give it a smaller context, right? If we take this hat, okay, and we tell it, let's say, what was it? Top hat. Uh, hold on. Remove hair. No, I'm not gonna remove hair. Where's the turn the cap into a top hat. Okay, okay. Top hat. Sorry, top hat. Maybe it's wrong. Did you see on Twitter when I asked uh, Photoshop to erase people, to remove people from the picture? Okay, so we have something interesting here. Okay, hold on. Let's move it. Come on, let's go. Okay, this is me. Smaller context. Oh, look at that. So you basically need to select some specific items, and then it works a bit better, right? See? It works. It's still it's smaller than my head. It's not the right angle, but it works. You just need to give it the proper context for this. Okay? Try making you look beautiful. What AI considers beautiful and what we consider beautiful is probably different, very different. Make her show metal symbol. Yeah, we take the necklace and we can like, change it to something. So funny. I'm gonna show it to you today. I should have Twitter open here. Twitter open. Let's oh, 5 notifications. Holy smokes. Okay. I'm gonna check them very, very soon. But let's go to my I'll show you what I did. Hi. Hello. This is us. Yeah. Okay. Eliza, it's when we talked about pattern matching, Eliza, as an example of that. This is my April Fool's joke. Don't take it seriously. But before it, okay, I took a picture from the GTC and I asked Photoshop. Like I didn't give it the proper context, but I selected everything. I told it erase people. Okay, I told the model to erase people. This is what I got. The pits of hell. We were talking about religion before. And to be fair, the other two, they were like nice landscapes and stuff. We did erase people, but this is the first way of erasing people from actual apocalypse. But you know, if we take, hold on, I'll pull out this picture from the GTC. So I was trying to make the previous live stream. I was taking a picture of the GTC, this text that we've seen at the very beginning. There you go. And I was trying to erase people from it because I didn't want people to be on the picture. But if we take, for example, if we select everything and we ask erase people, it's too big of a context. But if we select this group of people and we tell it erase people, you'll actually do what you want. So you need to be very specific with what you ask, and it's a matter of context. Keep it in mind. Okay, so it's gonna work right now. Okay, so we've added a bunch of text too. Okay, this is a bad example, but okay, if we say erase robot, hopefully it will work. Because it worked. I was able to erase people. It was probably a different image. There you go. There is no robot. We have the floor here. Huh. There you go. What other option does it give you? Yeah, you can erase it in a different way. So it is useful for sure. You know, another cool thing that you have here, and I don't think it works at the moment. So if you pull out a picture that is relatively not in a very high quality, let's see, I probably have it here somewhere. This one. Uh, yeah, let's pull out this guy. This is from the SAP Center. This is from the keynote. So let's say, because it's dark, okay, I was trying to film the generated art behind very nice. artistic exhibition in the 10 minutes ahead of Jensen's speech. So what you do is you select all, Control A, and then you go to filters and you go to neural filters. Now, the last time I checked, it was off for some reason. It says because of an error, but you go to photo restoration here, turn it on. Oh, and it works. Yes, it works. So what you do is you can now take this photo, right? And you make it in a much higher quality. So you can photo enhancement. You can go for the top of it, and then you look more like a drawing, right? So it's generative AI that you can also control. That's why I like. But you can also enhance your face to make yourself much nicer. To make yourself prettier, and if you have some scratches in the photo, if it's an old picture, like it's an old World War II type picture, you can remove those scratches as well. So it's kind of cool too. Also, you can do skin smoothing, but okay, it's a problematic one because when it comes to your hair, it may change your hair completely. Okay. You also have a smart portrait where if somebody blinks, for example, you can change the direction where your eyes are looking, but hold on. Facial age. Okay. So change the facial age, make yourself much younger. Let's see what it does. Or I should get a picture with more light, more wrinkles. Okay, so this is supposed to be much younger me. Change the hair. But if we do it the other way around, let's say much older. I'm 50 years older, plus 50. Let's see how it looks like. There you go. Not too bad. You know what? Mario is very lucky. But no, it doesn't work very well. We need a nicer picture. Let me pull out a nicer picture. So we are playing with AI. I know that not a lot of you guys have Photoshop, so I think it's cool. Hold on. Let's pull something out. Let's take this picture. Okay. Open with Photoshop. Do it. Okay. Good. Good. We can play with this one. Select all neural filters. Okay, now let's make me older. Our portrait. 50 years old. Let's go. Let's go. And this is, you see what I mean by changing the hair. Let's go. Come on. Drink some coffee. Mm. Holy smokes. Yikes. Yikes, you guys. That's creepy. Zero. What else? Under. Have a look to the right. Oh, check it out. Let's have a look to the left. It's not my eyes, but thing, right? And you don't have to go for the extreme type of balance. What else we have here? Hair thickness, happiness. Oh, let's make me very happy. How can I be? Sure. How can I be very sad? Okay, so this is pretty cool. You can transfer makeup. You can do a style transfer, right? I told you, take two images, take, and this is something that Photoshop is doing pretty well, but we can do it with code. We're going to do it on the channel as well. But yeah, there you go. Here's your generative AI with Photoshop. Um, does it mean that you'll be going to the GTC and other events way past 50s? Imagining an extra geeky future. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I'm focused on surviving 2024. That's my main focus. I just want the world to stay intact. By the end of this year, I'm not asking for much. I have Photoshop, but OMG Figma. So Figma is nice, but it's not an equivalent to Photoshop. I would say that it's equivalent to Adobe XD. So Adobe XD is the prototyping tool of the equivalent. So Figma is something you make prototypes with. I showed it in one of the streams on the channel when I was showing you my my game. Oh, I can't remember. It was too long ago. Forget about it. But yeah, I used Figma momentarily before. Yeah. Sound is cutting off. Ooh, sorry guys. That was me moving. That was me just sorry. It hasn't done your teeth very well. Not just the teeth. It hasn't preserved a lot of me in this picture, but I guess if you'd like to do like slight modifications, that's probably suitable for it. If somebody is looking slightly off, you can fix it that way. But if you know how to work with Photoshop, you don't really need those neural filters, but it does save you a lot of time. Is there any AI out there where I can use a bunch of electronic books on the same subject and make it chat GPT to ask questions for studying process? Um, so basically, you can fine tune, not ChatGPT, but you can fine tune GPT 2.5, and you can purchase GPT 3, and you can fine tune it as well. So what I'm saying fine tuning, it means that you're taking a model that was already pre-trained. Somebody already taught this model everything it knows about the world, and you're just adding more information to it. So basically, you have a model that is okay. Let's take the heavy metal example because we're using it before. You have a model that was trained on classical rock music. But when it comes to Slipknot, it knows nothing, right? But you want it to be also aware of Lamb of God and Slipknot and Tool, whatever bands you're into. So you basically train it on all their lyrics, right? You add them to the mix. So just because somebody already created the model doesn't mean that it's the final model. So if you can pull it out, if you can take out the weight of the model itself, you can do this with uh, three, I believe, two as well. 2.5, you can do it for sure. But three, I think you need to purchase it. But you can check the model, and you don't have to train it from scratch. Again, you can be like relatively sophisticated already, but you can teach it a bunch of electronic books that it didn't learn before. But the chances of it, um, the only way to find out it'd be good for your needs is to train it from scratch or to use something not um, controversial. Because a lot of the things that those models learned, they need to be unlearned. They have some problems with this right now. So we haven't figured out how to unlearn things unless you know the exact order in which those models learned it. Yeah. Would you rather have a tech geek or a muscular man? So my spouse Mario, he's a refrigeration mechanic. He's building high-rise buildings as well. He's like a site superintendent. So there's your answer. A lot of my friends are quite geeky. Many of my friends, but I think when it comes to forming a family, you need to have two different energies involved. You cannot have two of the same kind. So my spouse is very different from me. Not a big fan of AI, but it's okay. It makes sense. Again, he's like a very strong, muscular man. So, and I come from a family where this is kind of standard. My dad is also like that. My brother is like that. So, uh, that's how I was raised, right? The different families of different, structures. Somebody should tell poor Pedro the place to look for training models. So if you're looking to like if you need some state of the art type of models, actually I have a video where I show you how to use them. If I'm not mistaken, that would be this machine learning databases and how to access them video. I think I'm showing you how to load a pre-trained model. If I don't show it here, then I definitely show it in the Torch Tensor RT video. But to implement Tensor RT with a media graphics card, you can still implement it without it because I do show you how to do it without CUDA. So you do have a way of doing this. It's just going to take you a long time. I don't remember which model we load here. VGG, probably because I like VGG. But if you look for, so depending on your depending on what kind of framework you're using. So if you're using PyTorch, just go for PyTorch pre-trained models, right? And the PyTorch will show you all the array of models that it offers, right? And it shows you the code you use to build it. Okay, so here's ResNet. There's a ResNet with 50 layers, there's ResNet with less layers. There's all kinds of different options to choose. For this example, this is ResNet, which is an image classification model. What else? The BGG is also for image classification. There's AlexNet. AlexNet, actually. Jensen was talking about it he said that this is how this whole saga with AI started, okay? From an image of a cat that a computer was able to label it as a CAT, as a cat, right? So this is how this whole saga of generative AI started from AlexNet. So check out AlexNet, check out VGG, VGG 19, pretty good, 19 layers. It depends on what you're trying to do, but these are image classifying models. Same goes for TensorFlow. So if you use TensorFlow instead, where now there's not much of a difference anymore. It used to be more difficult to use TensorFlow than PyTorch, but now they're kind of equal levels, I would say. Oh, they changed the entire interface. I'm sorry. Pre-trained models for TensorFlow Lite. Yeah, I can't find this article anymore. But never mind. You're going to find some examples of everything inside the documentation of those frameworks. You'll find like quick start guides, everything you need all there. The audio, is it still bad, guys? Sorry. Holy smokes. I'm going to go to the last comment. Let's see if it's still problematic. Is it better or is it terrible? Because when I move my head, the audio also changes. And what I can do is I can go to settings and I can say, do not automatically adjust the mic volume. Is it better? Let's see. Let's see what else. What else we have here? Oh, Tobbs wrote something. Let's see. Maybe she has another mic in the room on a webcam or something, and it's being used instead. Oh, hopefully not. I do have a mic on. Hold on. Let's double check. No, it is the HyperX. That's the good mic. Let's see what else. So basically, what the studio. Um, let's see, audio. No, it's fine. Like so, what the studio was doing, it was automatically adjusting the volume of my microphone. And I turned it off. And it doesn't do it anymore. Hello, I missed many of your tutorials. One day you will publish again as before or not. Anyway, you look pretty today. Thank you. But all my tutorials are available. You don't need to like, even if you can access them after. This is not a tutorial. Okay, AI me. Why not use any AI to write your SQL create table statements? Must better suited to the job than Figma. Somebody uses Figma for SQL statements? What? That's crazy. Why? It's just a prototyping tool. I didn't know it's actually has some functionality in it. You can animate it and make some very nice prototypes. But and I wouldn't use an AI model to make my database. I don't trust it. Your entire site or your entire app is kind of built upon this database. So I don't know if AI will do a particularly good of a job in designing your database. It's too important. How does it know the relations between things? Um, you kind of need to teach it language to understand relations, and so on and so on. And learning language is one of the hardest parts in AI. It is doable, right? But it's quite complex. Natural language processing. Uh, yeah, let's see. Let's see what else is here. Uh, hold on. I'm here. Okay, it's a bit bottom of the ocean, Maria. It was much better earlier. Oh, sorry. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. What's going on? What's going on, yo? Okay. I do have echo cancellation here. Let me move it. How is that? Is it better? Maria, how is the tech scene in Vancouver compared to Valley or even Seattle? I used to live in Seattle for 16 years, and at least in pre-COVID area, there was much less people in tech. I've been to Seattle pre-COVID, and it's a very different Seattle than what I've seen a few days ago. Very different Seattle. Sorry, a few weeks ago. Very different. The city's so dirty. I was shocked. It wasn't like that before. So the tech scene in Vancouver is always has always been, very, very big. We have a lot of corporations here. We have a lot of like gaming corporations actually. A lot of people are coding and working in them. So Vancouver is very tech oriented, that's for sure. There's a lot of high rises, there's a lot of technological companies, there's lots of startups there. I haven't looked for a job in those companies, but they exist. And it's always been very technologically advanced. In terms of the Valley, I recognized way more programmers there. But again, I was there during the GTC. So I think the Valley is a bit more programming oriented. But to be fair, my observation was during an event where all the AI experts and all the, folks who are selling things to AI experts kind of consolidated to a single space. And what I find in the Valley is that, at least in the center of San Jose, everything is tech oriented. Everything is very clean, everything is very nice. But more silent. Okay, I can make it louder. I can make my microphone louder. But as soon as you kind of leave the center area, it's a whole different San Jose. It's not the same place. And my hotel was not in the center. It was near the airport, it was El Camino Real, basically. That's where it was. So I got to experience the actual city rather than the tech part of the city. I wasn't impressed at all. And Vancouver, I moved far from Vancouver. There are several reasons why I did so. And Vancouver also doesn't look the same way that it used to look like. It's a very different city than what it was when I came here a few years ago. And I came from Alberta. I used to live in Edmonton, Alberta for many years. This is where I met Mario. And as soon as, the economy dropped in Alberta, we couldn't stay there. The city became our vehicle got broken into twice in the same month. And the second time, there was nothing to steal from it. So basically, at a certain point, you ask yourself, okay, next time they'll break in, they find that there's nothing in the car. What's going to stop them from trying the window right by the car? So we kind of left everything, and we left to Kelowna. And Kelowna had the most disastrous year that it ever had when we were there. There was fires, there was floods, there was unending snow, and we're like, no, we're getting out of here. And that's where we came to Vancouver, and it was beautiful, brilliant, amazing. We really enjoyed Vancouver for the first few years we lived here, but a lot of things have changed. I think everywhere in the world it has changed. At least the last 4 years have made a huge, huge change to a point of unrecognition. And some places changed for the good, some places changed for the bad, and I think Vancouver changed for the bad side of things, unfortunately. But my only impression of the Valley and of Seattle is very quick. I didn't live there, and when you visit a place, it's very different from where you live there, right? Let's see. I went for an Oracle Open World and stayed in San Francisco downtown. Something cheap, $150 a night. I had mice in your room. No, I didn't have mice in my room. It wasn't that bad of a hotel. It was just not clean, right? And I'm a very clean person. I clean very intensely. Okay, everything needs to be clean for me to be comfortable. I just couldn't sleep knowing that the room is not perfect. So I was hiding my laptop under my pillow so they wouldn't not ruin it. Yeah, I was worried to leave my laptop in the room. I hid it in the room every time I left. I think I carried it with me only once because it was just too heavy. I had too many things in my bag, and when I would go for an entire day. So my backpack was kind of full of jackets and stuff I might need, some hats, whatever. Um, Hope she does more of these. She's a jam and she's genuine. Thank you. I enjoy your content. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I try to be as honest as possible, and I try to skip things that will make you guys fight in the comments. I think now I kind of didn't skip it. We talked about the philosophy behind AI. So it has been tough for me to find a job in tech. I have applied all over North America. Yeah, it's. I think that the best opportunities are opportunities that we get through mutual friends. We have friends who work in a certain company. They can vouch for our character, and they're kind of pulling us in. So see who you have in your friend circle. Maybe you forgot about this friend you had years ago, but now he's working in this fancy company that you would like to work at. So you can just kind of reconnect with them and see where it kind of leads you. But the best jobs I ever got, they were not in a field of technology, but they were mostly with design, graphic design. It was through friends, through people who I actually knew, and they needed somebody, and it's like, Maria is great for that. So that's how most of these opportunities came by. So try networking, and maybe try informational interviews. Kind of reach out to people who work in the company where you want to start working in, and ask them, like, how is it like working here? Just kind of introduce yourself. Tell them I'm an aspiring developer. I want to do this one day. I'm not sure if I should. Can you recommend me? What was hard for you? Do you like this place? Whatever. Kind of introduce yourself, and then maybe if they look for somebody in half a year, they'll think about you. I don't know. It's tough. It's hard for me to give you advices on this because when I was looking for a job, I couldn't find it either. I was looking for it in the beginning of COVID, so it was impossible for juniors to find it. So, and we have a new member! Yay! Thank you so much for joining us, Vav Steve. Awesome, thank you. We're gonna have a members only stream in about 15 minutes. Okay, we're gonna stop this for 15 minutes. Oh wow! You've been in the industry for 25 years. Holy smokes! Maybe you're overqualified to the places where you apply. Maybe they see all your experience and they're like, well, he'll leave us right away for a better company or something. It's tough. It's tough, man. I'm not sure what kind of advice to give you, but I did meet I met a very nice person years ago when I was looking for a job myself in the beginning of this whole around 2020, and he was a software engineer for about 30 years, and he was working in the same company with the same language, and he found that because of his experience, it was a disadvantage for him somehow. He did end up finding a job, but we went through a course where they taught us how to make our resume and how to submit cover letters, things of that sort. And I know that right now they want like 6 interviews. Every job, like for a senior developer, I know it from my uncle, they kind of want you to see them 6 times. Some of this is you're meeting human resources. Other times it's technical interviews. Other times it's like cultural interviews. It's these type of stuff. I don't know why you would need 6 interviews to give somebody a job. It doesn't make any sense. But that's how I guess it works in a field. Holy smokes. Yeah, things are going crazy, If I had a company, I'd hire you, but I don't know. I don't have anything. I have my own company where only I work. And I can't keep up with things, but I cannot provide a steady workflow for somebody else and kind of take responsibility for somebody else. So I don't hire anyone, unfortunately. One day I might be able to. Okay, soon tech interviews will be like a Squid Game. Oh yeah. I watched it on what was it? Paramount? No, I can't remember where. I watched it. It's terrible. Yeah, I hope not. I've been through that course and to the career center in my local city. Oh, holy smokes, man. Good luck. It's a tough one. I know it from my family members. It's not easy. But at least imagine if you were a junior and you were to apply to jobs in the realm of Devon and these type of stuff. It would have been even harder. So, at least for senior developers, I have some hope. For juniors, I lost all hope. I don't know. And judging by what my university teaches me, holy smokes, they do not make you ready for a job. If all you know about computers is what your lecturers taught you in your computer science degree, and mind you, I'm done in about half a year. The only thing I've left is my final project. I went through all the exams, I went through all the study material, everything I observed. And I specifically learned about machine learning and artificial intelligence. And not even once in my course, they have mentioned processing on a GPU. Not even once. What? You teach me machine learning and data science. You make me ready for the job market, or at least you teach me about the concepts that will make me ready, the theoretical concepts that will get me job ready. But you skip one of the most important concepts to achieve this thing that you're teaching me. It's insane. And half of the module, you study it in P5.js. Who uses P5.js? You want to teach us JavaScript, teach us Node, teach us React, do things that are, they're maybe not, top of the game, but at least they're somewhat useful. At least we can take our projects, load them into GitHub and showcase, employers our skills, but they don't do it. And the thing about my university is that you need 39 points to pass. And if you know 40% of what the teacher taught you in class, or you guess it, then you are qualified. And they will actually hire you based on that. So, okay, let's say that you know 40% of every course, and these courses are not even enough to make you job ready, and you come to a workplace. You think that you spend all those 4 years and this piece of paper you got is enough, but guess what? People will figure out on the very first week that you don't know anything about what you're talking about. You don't even have the lingo that, people in your workplace have. And I don't know, I came into this degree with prior knowledge. I knew a lot, not just about programming, but also about AI. So for me, it was just for this piece of paper, just for my mom, so she can tell her friends, Maria, she finished a computer science degree, she's very smart. That's why I'm doing this. So my parents are proud, basically, at this point, and already started it. And I can't complain about it unless I actually finish it. And then I'll complain a lot about it. But I don't know how actual juniors without any prior experience who finished this course, they were able to kind of find their way in the workplace. I don't know if it's even possible. Yeah, there's a lot of things they'll need to learn on their own. And somebody will need to have the patience to teach them in the workplace. Right? A senior developer to sit with them and tell them, yeah, that's what we do. Yeah. What's your take on a future where one individual could run an entire business just using AI for every process of the business model? I believe that's something to think about instead of looking for a job. If this AI model is so simple that one person can operate it, why would people pay you to have it? So just because you have a product and just because you charge $1,000 for somebody to use this product doesn't mean that somebody buys it. And I think a lot of the problems in the world of tech is that people are looking for very easy solutions to problems. They want to be millionaires from an application that they designed in 2 days. They used a model that is already ready. They did a bunch of slight modifications and boom, you can use it. But why would people pay you for that? So in order to be able to make a living, you need to be able not only to make a product, but also market it. And I know, I think you guys on the channel, if you follow it for enough years, you've seen a company named Wayscript. They had an amazing product. They had a very good IDE. They basically even offered you hosting services. They offered you everything. They made it available on the cloud. They made it available on your desktop, and it was a good software. They're no longer operational. Why? Because they were not able to infiltrate the market in a way that they can make a profit of it. So yeah, you raised a bunch of money, you hired a bunch of devs, you made an incredible product, but you were not able to convince the world that it's good enough to replace existing products, right? And this is where the hardest part comes from. So just because somebody is able to use AI to do all kinds of things, it doesn't mean that the product they create will be good. You need to be able to get people to open their wallets and pay you. That's the hard part of business, okay? So I don't think it matters. Yeah, I don't think, like, if you don't know how to bring capital, it doesn't matter what you build. It can just remain anonymous, right? It's tough. Let's see. Hold on. See. Thank you. UAV Steve is recommending you to join the member program. We're going to have a live stream in about 9 minutes just for members. Thank you. I appreciate it. I welcome it, of course, but you don't have to. I know that we live in times where many of us, we don't have even $1 a month to kind of pay for someone, at least in Canada. Like, I don't know how it's like where you are, but things here are crazy. We just had a giant tax hike about 5 days ago, and we were promised to get a credit as a result. So the tax hike was basically, it's seen everywhere. Like, everything you buy is affected by it. And people, at least I expected some kind of a, credit, like a nice credit. I've seen what I got in credit, and it's like $35. So you have this, tax hike for life. But don't worry, you're gonna get $35, So yeah, I don't expect you to guys pay. If you have, that's incredible. Join, absolutely, have fun. We're gonna have a nice kind of more private member stream very soon. Less people, more opportunities to talk to you guys. But yeah, it's tough. Ooh, cool. Let's see what else we have in the Oh, Sandy is here. What's up? Good morning. I think 3D printing is getting better. Was reading about 3D printing food from recipes. I wonder what else can be printed. I think 3D printing is used in manufacturing shoes more now. Well, my spouse is in construction. They actually print buildings with 3D printing. You just need big enough of a printer. Food. I wouldn't eat food that a 3D printer makes. I don't know what they put inside it. But I've seen a funny meme. It's a poop joke, so I'm not going to show it to you. But actually, no, you know what? I'm going to show it to you. I know you guys have a... Poop jokes are, it's the best type of humor. So I will pull it out. It's about a 3D printer. Okay, hold on. Where is it? There you go. Okay, that's the one. Do you see it? It says, "Everyone is a 3D printer." I thought it was funny. Yeah. Okay, in the human realm, survival of the fittest is really survival of the smartest. I wish. And the thing about smart is there's school smart and there's street smart. These are two different kinds of smart. It kind of connects to what we were talking about when it comes to reinforcement learning and achieving AGI through it. I would say that an AGI model is street smart. And all those models that are now, ChatGPT, all those famous like Gemini, all those famous models, they are school smart. And I think that true AGI is a critical thinker. It's not somebody who was taught what and how to think. It's somebody who figured it out on its own. So something. It's a machine. Holy smokes. Yeah, machines and humans are not synonymous. My apologies. But yeah. It is what it is. See, you guys liked my joke. You liked my, you have the same humor. You know, I don't know. Many of you are probably watching South Park. You know, it's one of my favorite shows in all times. And I appreciate it way more when I'm like smarter. Yeah, I see your political comments. I try not to. I try not to get into it because I have a lot of things to say, but I try not to say them too. So, okay, let me set up. No, I have to leave this stream to set up the member stream. I'm going to do it shortly. So, dear members, let's say at, okay, 12:35 Pacific time, which is 10 minutes from now, our stream will start, okay? I will set it up as soon as I end this one in about 5 minutes, and then I'll go into the members only stream. So if you guys want to ask me, you know what, if you want to ask some political stuff, I don't mind doing it in a members only stream because I can always delete it, you know? And only a few people are there to begin with, you know? I don't want to kind of influence people's opinions with mine because, you know, who knows if I know things well? Who knows if my point of view is, you know, correct or best or whatever. So yeah, we'll do it in the members only stream. And I also need to send a link to Badger and to Josh. Remind me, please. I want them to join to kind of talk to us because I didn't set up a function on YouTube that allows moderators to join the member streams yet. I need to set it up. It's called Brand Connect. So I'll set it up shortly. Please ask Mr. Python to print me a new house if he has time. He can build you one. He's not fully immersed in the 3D printing, you know, of the building type of stuff. But he can build you a nice concrete high-rise just for yourself, Tobbs. But it will have to be here in Mission. You know, it cannot be anywhere else. We're not going to Wales, no. I'm not letting him go there for sure. Actually, I don't think I want to leave Canada at least until 2025. I don't think I'm going anywhere. I'm not looking for adventures. Hope Sunday you come to Brazil with your family and talk to guys in person. You're great. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you, Pedro. Tudo bem. Tudo bem. I would use Fast API over Django to tap into AI API. Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about it, for sure. How does a weighting machine works? You stand on it and it kind of tells you your weight. There's a sensor. What is the first programming language you learned? HTML. And those who say that it's not a programming language, I welcome you to look the dictionary definition of programming. It is a programming language. It is a markup language, I understand, but a markup is a subset of programming, with all due respect. Oh, Soul Tribe 9. What's up, Am? How's it going? Everything's nice. Well, you're joining us 2 minutes before the stream is about to be over. But still, hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming. Is it possible to connect an AI model by Django to a website? Is it possible to connect an AI model to a Django website? Absolutely, right? Instagram, Facebook, I think they're using Django, and they have like recommendation algorithms. They have all kinds of systems, of course. Actually, I have a video. It's not Django, it's not Flask, but it is TypePy, and we'll do another TypePy video shortly. I've seen your you guys had some requests there too. Oh, sorry, that's not what I was supposed to show you. No. Holy smokes, I was pressing. Okay, so AI. Okay, we were talking about TypePy. Sorry. Things are happening in life. So simple machine learning GUI app with TypePy and TensorFlow. Check it out. It's a nice tutorial. It's an open source. It's an open source framework. I think you're gonna like it. It has a special way of, creating elements. It has a special way of talking to, the back end, and we'll dive a bit deeper into it shortly. Cool. Awesome. So, folks, thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, thank you for coming, folks. Sorry that I have to go. I wish I could stay here a bit longer. Typa was a great recommendation, actually. Awesome. I meant to say thank you for that. I used it in a project at work recently. Yay, awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, I'll let them know. I talked to Typa not too long ago. I'm actually, they have some pipeline orchestrator that I cannot figure out. So I send them an email. I wanted to check, if they can give me a nicer example of it. Let's see, a use case. Okay, כל הכבוד. Pedro, Hebrew? Holy smokes. תודה, איזה כיף. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Sandy, we're going to have a members only stream in about 5 minutes. I'm going to set it up shortly and you'll see, hopefully you'll see a notification very, very quick. And as you can see, given the kangaroos, Sandy's from Australia. Okay, so thank you so much guys for joining. Thank you, Mina. Thank you, Iron Man. Yeah, I'll see you soon in another live stream very, 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 very soon. Actually, I'll see you in a tutorial much sooner than I'll see you in a nice stream, live stream. But yeah, talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you.